And welcome back to coverage here of Pro Tour Lorwyn Eclipsed. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe. I'm with Paul Cheon. And we are in Richmond, Virginia. It is frigid outside, but here inside, we've got business to take care of. We've got a Pro Tour to start here. We've got round number 1 coming up. We just watched Seth Manfield draft, I think, a good deck. Like, if a random PT competitor said, here's my deck, I would say that's like a 2-1. If Seth shows it to me, I'm like, and he came up and said, I 3-0'd with it, I would be like, yeah, I believe that.
Right.
You know, these decks at the Pro Tour level are very, very difficult to draft. Everybody knows what they're doing, and you just don't get hooked up very often.
Yeah, I mean, it is just so rare to get kind of the 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 decks at the Pro Tour. I mean, look at the names that we saw at that table. Ian, Rob, there's just a ton of good players at that table. You're not going to get anything gifted to you. So if you can, like I said, all you're looking to do at the Pro Tour is, you know, if you don't get all the bombs, just make sure that you have a solid curve with good interaction, and then just kind of play out the cards and see what happens. And that's kind of what Seth has, but he also has that one bomb. Look, if you draw Champions of the Perfect, you're going to win a lot of games. So I think Seth's deck is solid. You know, kind of going into it, if I were to predict the record for this type of deck, it would be something like a 2-1.
Yeah, and a 2-1 at the PT is not easy to get. So let's take a look here at our head-to-head. Seth is going to be playing against Daniel Goetschel here, and you can see 2 top finishes for Daniel versus Seth's 14 with that Hall of Fame and World Championship times 2 somehow.
Yeah, it's like how many invites has Seth earned to this Pro Tour?
No kidding, no kidding. He could fill out a draft table himself, I bet. This is Seth's list. We just watched him draft this. Again, this is a straightforward beatdown Elves deck. It doesn't quite have the long game that you sometimes see from this archetype, where there's recursion or ways to really take advantage of the graveyard, but there's enough meat on that bone. Take a look at what Daniel's got to work with. Oh, he's drafted goblins. Now, interestingly, we were talking about goblins, you and I, Paul. Not our favorite archetype here. How do you see this version? Ooh, Soul Immolation.
Yeah, so this doesn't kind of have what the typical goblins deck wants, which is all kind of the drain payoffs. But it has one of the best rares in the entire format in Soul Immolation. This card is absolutely fantastic. It's a one-sided Wrath. If you can set that card up and you draw it, there's not a whole lot Seth can do to kind of interact with that. So if Daniel can find that card, it's going to be great. Also, Goliath Daydreamer is quite a strong card there. 4 mana for a 4/4. You cast a spell, you exile it, you attack, and then you get to cast that spell for free. So, you know, Daniel's got some kind of potentially game-altering bombs as well, but doesn't quite have like the perfect goblin setup.
I mean, that curve was terrible.
Right, there was like 2 1-drops and a 2-drop, right?
Right, exactly.
And playing against Seth Manfield, who has a beautiful curve with his elf deck, it might be tough, especially if you're on the draw.
Seth navigated his seat very well. That was a tough seat to be in, and he was really relieved for Pack 2 to bring him a ton of playables that he needed. It wasn't that they were, you know, he got an Eclipsed Elf, but, you know, for the most part, they were just commons, but goodness sakes, did he need that pack to come together. And, you know, taking a look now that we can kind of get an idea for how the table went, he was in a tough spot there. He was surrounded by players playing green.
Yeah, there were 3 green drafters, I believe, to his right. And it's not surprising. He literally got no elf cards after pick 5. But, again, I've said this many times, Pack 2 basically saved Seth Manfield's draft. And I'm sure all the people to his right going, what are you doing, Seth? We're the green drafters. You're not supposed to be green. So they all kind of got nothing, most likely, in pack number 2.
Interesting matchup of creatures here. You see the Vile Boggart. It's actually pretty good against the Iron Shield Elf. The Elf, against certain matchups, that particular Elf can be a huge pain, but against Goblins, it's actually less good.
Yeah, but Seth does have a pretty fun answer here. Might not go for it, but he does have Blossoming Defense. So if he attacks with the Iron Shield Elf, you can actually be Blossoming Defense the Iron Shield Elf, so it wouldn't get that -1/-1 counter from the Vile Boggart.
Yeah, the Iron Shield Elf can get indestructible by discarding a card and tapping it, but -1/-1 counters are the best way to get around indestructible.
Right. Because Seth can also choose to just go attack if you block, because Daniel's definitely going to block here, Blossoming Defense, and then play out a second Iron Shield Elf. That is a pretty strong play. Sure. And that's what he's doing.
Yeah, you don't see this very often. Daniel's going to say, well, but you know, Daniel has to look at it and also say, well, I'm going to get something.
Right, like I'm going to trade this for Blossoming Defense. The Elder Auntie also will turn into a 3/3, and I get a Scry or a Surveil. So I think that's probably worth it here, and you don't take 3 damage.
Right.
Okay, Daniel is like, okay, you know what? I know exactly what you have, so I will not play into it and just force you to play something else here.
Yeah, he's looking at it, Cinder Strike in hand, perhaps thinking, well, I could trade that for a Blossoming Defense, and then I can actually make sure that my Boggart gets rid of this elf.
Right. Yeah, because next turn, if Daniel goes Cinder Strike, right, and actually Seth not playing out the Eclipse Elf, but now you can go Cinder Strike and kill both creatures, and that is a huge, huge turn here for Daniel Goetschel. Although it would be the only play for the turn, as he has a Goliath Daydreamer in hand.
Whoa, you know, what's better than 1 Cinder Strike?
Yeah?
Goliath Daydreamer.
Yeah.
Okay, just running
This
it
is
out.
also nice because it does block the Iron Shield Elf, at least on its own, so theoretically that would be held back too.
Yeah. I imagine, I believe I saw a Box Slither's Embrace here for Seth Manfield.
We'll find out really quickly if he has one, because you do not want to let, I mean, this is exactly how you can lose to a deck like this.
Right.
Is to let that Daydreamer stay on the battlefield, and once they start, I mean, even just getting to use it once feels real bad if you're in Seth's seat.
Yeah, I might just be interested in just attacking here. Or using the, using the Embrace here, putting a counter on the Stompling to get rid of the Daydreamer. And it does exile, so it wouldn't trigger the Elder Auntie.
This is interesting pressure that Daniel's putting on Seth, right? It's passive in a way, but you know, Seth would really prefer not to use Bog Slither's Embrace right now. In fact, he's going to attack with both.
You have how many cards in hand?
I have
5.
5 cards.
It's a lot of cards, Daniel.
Just block the Iron Shield Elf and no blocks there.
It's always a tough spot when your opponent's the aggressor and has 4 mana up and you're tapped out.
Right. You see Daniel looking to maintain possession of his giant there. It's not even going to get in combat.
Right.
Although I will say, no matter how this combat goes, Daniel's taking some hits here.
Yeah, the issue with using something like a Guilt Leaf's Embrace here is just the fact that it gives Indestructible, but it doesn't give it hexproof. So even if you played this on your Iron Shield Elf, the -1/-1 counter would go on the Iron Shield Elf, and you'd be either forced to use Blossoming Defense to save it, or just let it die.
Okay, I'll trigger a trigger.
Yep.
So I'll put a minus counter. I'm not sure the exact order if I surveil. This triggers from dying, and so I think I placed the counter, and then I surveil one and remove a counter.
Just a sequencing question here on the -1/-1 counter and the Surveil on Heirloom Auntie.
And I take 4.
This- These both trigger at the same time, so you get to choose the order.
Okay, so I'll put the counter and then I'll surveil one.
Sure.
And I'll keep that card on top.
Oh,
And,
Okay.
found something. He's got
Yeah.
a few too many lands going, so
Right.
really any action would be nice.
So now Boss Slither's Embrace is a little bit awkward here because you would just kind of, it costs 5 mana or Blight 1. And now that the counter is on the Stompling, if you cast the Embrace here, you lose your Stompling too. So that's kind of a 3-for-2 situation here.
Yeah, this did not work out well for Seth thus far. Let's see if he can find a way out of this mess.
Yeah, the other line is just playing an Eclipsed Elf or something, and then just keep up Blossoming Defense and just kind of cross your fingers and hope the Daydreamer doesn't get to go crazy. Although Daniel did keep a card on top. So I
Right.
feel like you might, oh, okay.
how many cards do you have? 5? 4?
Very awkward
right.
here for Manfield. He also only has 1 black source, so like he couldn't do both.
Okay, but the Cinders, I mean, the Blossoming Defense is still pretty good here because, you know, if Daniel looks to use a removal spell, you can't just fizzle
Going
it, and then the
to,
Daydreamer can't really attack, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I think
It looks like he kept a Sourbred Ainty on top.
I wonder at this point if Daniel is thinking, God, I wish you just used that blossoming defense. Maybe I should have blocked
I'm gonna
earlier
try to,
and make you use the
Cinder
blossoming
Strike here
defense.
and, instead of graveyard, or it's on the stack, I guess. That's Cinder Strike here.
Yeah, that's key, Daniel. He
Angling.
definitely knows.
About the
What
blossoming
Seth's
defense.
going
So
on,
that's
yeah.
going to
Counter
resolve.
and exile.
And then
I don't
if
know
Daniel
I should,
attacks, cast the Cinder
put a
Strike, you
random
can then
dice, I
blossoming
guess, or
defense
something.
onto the Iron Shield Elf.
And then block, and then maybe even discard a card.
Yeah, I imagine like Guilt Leaf's Embrace
Right.
probably would be going.
And so that would leave the giant dead at that point.
And then you would have a 4/4 Auntie versus in Iron Shield Elf. I mean, also
Cast
Daniel
the
doesn't have
Sourbred
to
onto,
attack.
And when it enters, put the Blight 2 trigger on the stack. Think for a second what to Blight 2 onto.
Probably the Auntie. Or itself,
Or
rather.
Blight 2, try and Blight 2 onto
Yeah.
itself and make 2 goblins.
So a 2/1 and 2 1/1s.
Goblins.
Fine deal.
And then I think so for the attack,
Because
if you blossoming defense.
Daniel is reading Seth here for the blossoming
4 cards, he
defense.
said, so you'd have 2 cards left. You got to surveil once. You could have asset protection. Think for 1 second. You have 5/4.
Because Daniel can just kind of go wide, at least based off of this board, and then just pass maybe, and then just
I'll just
attack
pass.
with everything next turn. So yeah, heads up play here. This is just high-level Magic from both sides. You know, Seth protecting himself from, you know, a removal spell being cast off the Daydreamer by keeping up the blossoming defense. At the same time, Daniel reading Seth for the blossoming defense and not making what looks to be a, you know, quote-unquote obvious attack here, trying to
Right.
get that elf down.
It's really good patience here from Daniel because, you know, anytime
Sure.
you have the Daydreamer at the ready with a spell exile,
You
with
wanna
it is
attack.
so
Can I pay
tempting to
additional
just get it
costs?
while the
Is
getting's
this,
good.
Like, could I blight my Cinder Strike when this attacks? Or is it?
Seth is going to go for Eclipsed Elf here, and I think he found maybe a swamp.
Yeah, found a swamp here, so.
You can pay additional costs.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so asking if you can blight one when you're casting the spell off of the Goliath Daydreamer, and you can.
Yeah, Seth tried to set a trap last turn, and Daniel did not fall for it. You know, that early attack with the Iron Shield Elf, it kind of turned the blossoming defense face up a little.
Right. And Seth is like, you know I have it too. I'm just, all right, let's
Yeah.
just get that thing off the battlefield here.
So that's 2/1? Yep.
And now, I mean, Daniel does have a pretty safe attack, at least with the goblins on the left, right?
Yeah, how many
Like,
cards?
he is
Three.
happy trading a 2-1 Sourbred Auntie probably for a card out of Seth's hand.
And this is, of course, the downside from Daniel of that patience is that he just never got to use his Cinder Strike.
You got
Right.
19
You
left,
know,
correct?
sometimes you just
Yep.
brute force
I'll
it and
just
just
swing
force your
for,
opponent to
3.
react to you, but he didn't this time. He's going to attack with just the 2 middle creatures, 2/1 and a 1/1 goblin.
Yeah, if there is a trade here, it might be the Eclipsed Elf for the Sourbred Auntie, right? Just 2-1s trading. Now, Seth is ahead in the life total race, and maybe he doesn't want to give Daniel a Surveil here as well. So maybe you just take the... this is just 3 damage coming in, right? And there are currently
Yeah.
no drain effects on the board.
I'll block here.
Sure.
Okay.
Go to damage. So I'll remove a counter, surveil 1, the trade. I'll graveyard that. This dies.
That surveil's a big
Here.
deal. That's a land
Huge.
going in
You
on
take 1
a
damage.
when he's flooding out.
And
Second
Daniel
main phase,
drew...
I'm going to cast Percher. I'll
There it
exile
is.
these 2. I'll gain 3 life.
So the
Go to
Gangling
16.
and the Eclipse
Then
Elf
I'll,
get exiled,
pass
3
2.
life for Daniel.
And that's relevant here because Seth Manfield does have a Grave Shifter in hand. And
Absolutely.
Grave Shiftering back Eclipsed Elf would have been so strong.
I think that's exactly what Seth was just thinking with that big sigh we just heard from.
Yeah.
He's got to be feeling like each of the little interactions that he's tried to set up here have been thwarted by Daniel each time, either from the cards he's playing or the way that he's playing them.
Yeah, and you know, while Iron Shield Elf can be very, very
Damn,
good
you're
and
making me
annoying in
work for
certain
this.
matchups, a bunch of 1/1 tokens is not what you want to be seeing.
All right.
Like, does
18,
Seth attack
16,
into
right?
the 1/1 token? And then what do you have to do? You just pitch a card or cast Guilt Leaf's Embrace? That's not ideal.
So you got to do what you got to do.
Probably keeping up a forest, right? You probably, unless you want to play both this turn. Okay, sure.
Go.
Yep.
You have 3 cards in hand?
2 cards.
2 cards.
Yeah, he really wanted to get that Eclipsed Elf back with the Grave Shifter,
Oh, yeah.
but that plan is not going to happen this time.
And Seth doesn't really have, he doesn't have any copies of Morkant's Loyalist. That would be fantastic just to be able to attack through the goblins. But Seth might just have to go, hey, we're just going to be in this racing situation, and maybe next turn I just attack with everything and just kind of see what happens. Ooh, great draw here for Daniel. Gnarlbark Elm as well, and I believe he does have the mana here to eat one of those Iron Shield Elves if he wants.
That is a blocker.
It's a perfect
Yeah,
answer,
yeah.
too, because it leaves a 3/4 behind for the other
Play the
one.
land for turn. I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna remove the counters in a second.
Daniel just
Spoiler alert.
I am going to kill you.
-2, -2
Oh,
to
okay.
the 2/2.
Okay, so now we can actually get even more aggressive and just attack with everything because you still have a 3/4 to block.
You double block.
It has really felt like every single interaction has tilted towards Daniel. Seth he looks tortured right now because of it, too.
18, okay.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like, I'm still not sure if that was
Attack with both.
the correct thing to do,
Double
just
block.
because, like,
So you can attack with
you can
everything.
you could like, keeping those 1/1s back against a 3/1 is also
Yeah,
pretty
that seems
strong
fine. Okay,
play.
I'll just attack
But
with,
it looks like Daniel
everything.
wants to go for maximum aggression here.
So that's
Yeah, with his 3/4 back, he's
Yeah.
kind of forcing Seth to do something. Also, Daniel's at a pretty nice life total, 16. And if Seth decides he wants to race, at this point, Daniel may be okay with
This
that.
is, 2-turn clock here, right? And Seth is going to take it here. But Seth can get in a good attack here with the combat tricks, but he can attack with both if he doesn't draw a creature here. Actually, even if he draws a creature, he can attack with both still, right? Because, you
Give
can
me a
block
16
one of the
life,
big
or-
creatures. Oh, no, that's 8 damage
Attack
coming
like
in.
that.
yep.
Okay, so this is not like
I'll,
Daniel can attack back here for
I'll,
9, but Seth
block
does have a
one.
blocker, and Seth is going to run Guilt Leaf's Embrace out here to be able to trample through, get some extra damage in. This will be
Sure.
4 damage coming in, getting Daniel down to 12,
Does it give
and you still have a
trample
blocker plus Blossoming
No,
Defense.
yes, it does. So it's 4, sorry.
So I go to 12.
Yeah.
Wouldn't expect Seth to play any more lands this game. He'll want to keep cards in hand
Right.
to discard to his Iron Shield Elves.
Did I miss the Surveil trigger there? The creature died, and then I started doing the untap action. And then, okay, so I missed
Oh,
the-
yeah, there was a Surveil.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's a land. That is
that's a
brutal.
2/3,
I mean,
sure.
that could have certainly, if Daniel
9,
doesn't
so if I
win,
attack
right?
with this, I have
That
2
is
blockers.
brutal.
I'm at 12. That is trample.
doesn't get to
so if you attack
take that
with
back. Okay.
protection, and I take
Nope.
force. I'll swing for 7.
Yeah.
Big hit.
Remember, Guilt
Sure.
Leaf's. Yep. Remember, Guilt Leaf's Embrace doesn't give trample just the turn you cast it. So
Right.
those 1/1s are
Six,
still
that's
doing a good job of blocking, and the Percher still puts Seth on a 2-turn clock.
Let's see if Seth can find something here.
Combat.
Sure.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
send the
this makes
team in.
sense.
So he'll save
But
one
he'll-
of them
he'll
by
lose one of
discarding
the elves.
forest. Yeah.
6 this time.
And then that's going to
All
trade
right.
off, but he just is forced to race at this point.
Oh, that's a spell,
Yeah.
right?
So
So-
you're down to 6?
I think this doesn't trample.
Oh, it doesn't trample.
Anymore,
sorry.
so it's just until end of turn?
Okay,
Yeah.
I apologize.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I take
Yeah.
2.
Um,
So I go
Yeah.
to 10?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
10.
that's the case. Swing for 3.
If that's the
Play
case,
guy, pass to you.
I'll attack for
Right.
3
Yeah.
and play another Biofile Boggart and pass.
Oh, that was a Dream Caesar. So that
Oh,
was
that's
actually a
interesting.
perfect blocker here for the Percher.
How many cards in hand?
1 card.
Do you want to fire it off here?
There is 1 card left in hand for Daniel, as you heard Seth just confirm.
Yeah, which is a land, and Seth is now at 3, so he doesn't really have great attacks here. So the only thing you can do is just play out a 3/2 Dream Caesar, put a -1/-1 counter on the Dignitary, so you can block the Percher.
That does stabilize the board, though.
Yeah, so
Precariously,
that
but
gives Daniel some additional outs here. So again, if it comes down to that, I mean, that Surveil on the land
yes,
could be the difference between Daniel, pulling this game out.
he'll be top decking any removal spell, basically, for the Dream Caesar.
Oh, attacking here, but not with both. Okay. Because now the counter will go on the
I'll
elf.
check.
And I'm sure Daniel's going to block
Sun
here.
life?
Yep.
Yeah. Taking out a 5-power creature, and you soak up 2 damage by doing so. It's hard to imagine that Bogger gets that much better.
So Daniel just trying to play around all the tricks that could be possible here. You know, do you have an edict effect? Does that even exist?
Right.
Right?
That doesn't have trample though.
And the 1 damage, I mean,
No
you're not going to...
blocks.
Oh, no blocks. Okay.
Okay.
Right?
And
it
he's
doesn't
just going
blight.
to...
Right, you don't have to blight.
So I untap.
Okay, so can Daniel find an answer to this flyer?
Cast this.
Yep.
6/4. That's a 3/2 your flyer.
Okay.
Past you.
And Seth, I mean, still hanging on here.
Can Seth find yet another answer? No, he just passes the turn back
Passes it back. Can Daniel find something?
just to
That's
get
a
rid of the
gives +2
dreams here.
forever.
Yeah,
Or-
and you can't really
yeah,
attack
he's
with the
plus
goblin either, right? The 6/4? Gosh, I'm wondering if can you imagine if Daniel blocked with the 1/1? The 5/1 would have been out, and then you would have been able to attack with the Berserker, right?
Yeah, totally.
Attack for 1.
So now he's like, well,
2.
I didn't
Seth
get
is
it
like, all right,
before."
I'm at 2.
Yeah. Yeah,
What can
Tweez
Seth
does
find?
3 anyway, so
Yeah. And what is it? The Soul Immolation would also get it done. Okay, Stoic Grove Guide is a gigantic attacker, but now Seth can attack with this big creature here.
For 5.
Does
eight
Daniel
life?
take it now?
yeah, I think.
Ah, what a tricky game.
No blocks.
He's going to take it.
Okay, both sides on 3 now.
3 to 2.
So now any removal spell from either side gets it done, right?
Yeah.
Because they both have 3-powered flyers.
That's right.
Kill spell?
Is there a removal spell here for
Another
That was a
Daniel?
second percher.
Oh, a second percher, so that's another lethal threat plus 3
Plus 3
life.
life. That was big.
Huge rip here for Goetschel. He's going to pass the turn back.
Right, now Seth needs a removal spell.
2.
Assert Perfection. He's got 2 of those. No, that's a land. This should do it.
And that's going to do it. Seth Manfield's going to pack him up. Game 1, it goes to Daniel Goetschel. Wow. That was a really intricate game. Both players, particularly Daniel, trying to really play around everything he could. And he does ultimately get across the finish line. So, looks like Seth's on 6 here, coming into game number 2.
Goetschel with kind of a slower hand, but does have that Cinder Strike to get rid of a 2-mana play here from Seth Manfield. But Seth does have the Iron Shield Elf, which is a Cinder Strike proof.
Man, Rooftop Percher. We were saying it was underrated,
right.
but it really did work that game.
Oh, Seth might actually want to play out. Oh, he's got the Dignitary there.
Yeah,
okay.
that's such a great play here on 2, particularly if he follows it up with a Scarblade Scout or similar,
right. And
which he has.
Also, it lets you. It doesn't die to a Cinder Strike, which is the most likely removal spell that Daniel could have in hand here.
Past you.
This could be a very explosive start here for Manfield if he can get an elf into the graveyard.
Yeah, with the Scarblade Scout. If he just runs that out, hits an elf, get 2 mana, but does he have a 2-mana play? No, it's not perfect, right? You kind of need an extra black, a source of black mana. So Seth, understanding this, just choosing to attack here,
Still, he will have it set up for next turn,
right?
and he can choose which 2-drop he'd want to play here. If he plays the Iron Shield Elf, he can discard the Stoic Grove Guide to turn on the Dignitary.
Right, and it protects you against removal.
Yep.
And this could just do it automatically,
Oh,
and
and
there
it
it
does.
is.
Good.
Scarblade Scout hits the battlefield, and an Iron Shield Elf hits the graveyard. So 5 mana available next turn for Seth if he draws a land.
Yeah. Yeah, that Dignitary is going to do a lot of work. If Daniel could have been able to kill off that Dignitary, that would really hamstring Seth's mana production.
Does he have the ability to do so?
Yeah, it just has a Cinder Strike, but can't play a creature here. So with the Cinder Strike, you need to be able to blight one. So probably want to get a creature out this turn if you really want to kill it next
Play
turn.
this, get 2 negative counters, and pass.
All right, so Daniel
Say
ready
1-2
to
right now.
1-2, yep.
take on some damage here.
Was that a Gnarlbark Elm there?
Yeah, Gnarlbark Elm
Okay.
starts in play as a 1-2, but of course you can remove the counters, turn it into a 3-4, deal with the Scarblade Scout, and then you can maybe put a counter onto it to deal with the Dignitary as well.
Yeah, so big turn next turn for Daniel, but in the meantime, Seth, he drew Champions of the Perfect.
Oh my gosh.
That's
And that
amazing.
plays around all of Daniel's removal. He's got to Feed the Flames in his hand. He's got a Cinder Strike, but he doesn't quite have the mana to kill it this turn. Do you just run it out? It's like, what removal can you have? Bogslither's Embrace is the card that can potentially just kill it next turn. I think he's going for it here. Yep.
6-6.
Yep. Probably
Now
just
Daniel can double up though, right?
Cinder Strike. Oh, excuse me. You're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, he can. He can. And he exiled Graveshifter, so if it dies, he can still just get it back.
But exactly. But this also means that it's going to take up Daniel's turn worth of mana plus a removal spell, and he's given himself the Graveshifter to get it back,
Remove
and
2
Seth just
counters,
gets to
give it
keep his whole
-2,
board
and then I'm
state.
gonna
Right.
So
deal
yes,
4 and
Daniel
blight
has
on
the
here,
answer
so
here,
One
but it's
counter back
temporary.
on the guy.
And he won't be able to kill it again. Well, he can get to, he needs to get to 7 mana. But even if he gets to 7 mana, you need to get another -1/-1 counter on the Gnarlbark Elm, right? Otherwise,
Exactly.
you can just kind of still kind of run through everything that you needed here. And Seth also has that Blossoming Defense. So presumably by the time he gets to Graveshifting back the Champions of the Perfect, and then that's just a loop in of itself, right? You can just never get rid of it. But even if you did have a removal spell for the Champions of the Perfect, you would have the defense in hand.
Yeah, does he want to attack with the Scout here?
Yeah, there's a couple of options here. I mean, you can even just go with the Assert
4,
Perfection
5, 5.
to just kill the Elm, and you can play a 2-mana Elf, right? That is certainly an option here.
Get more damage through.
And then just have 3 creatures in play versus nothing on the other side.
So 3 mana.
Yeah, this is big. I mean, you have 2 really good plays. You can either Graveshifter back your Champions of the Perfect this turn, or you can go with Elf, eat your Elm. But the Elm is not that scary anymore because it only has the 1 counter. It needs a second one to actually be able to kill the Scarblade Scout that's in play, or the Iron Shield Elf that you might play.
He's going to go for the Graveshifter.
Yeah.
So this is the bigger, more long-term game plan.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense, too, because if you think about it, Daniel's deck, how do you win the first game? Double Rooftop Percher, right?
Right.
You are at the point where you get to 5 mana. If you play the Percher, you exile the Champions of the
Flames,
Perfect.
your
So,
2/3,
And
I
take a look at his hand.
yeah,
Great call, Paul. That would have been
he actually drew it for this turn.
devastating. He actually top-decked it.
But Seth, only on 2 lands here. Feed the Flames on the Dignitary, so Seth needs to go back-to-back lands here. Did draw land. Needs to go back-to-back land to run out that Champion of the Perfect.
Yeah, it's wild because Daniel very much picked up on the
2/3
missed land drops there and said, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and aim my Feed the Flames at your best mana source here.
I'm not on Magic Online. It wasn't gaining life, but I don't know if it was bugged or not.
The creature deals damage. It was,
Should,
If it has life,
you should definitely gain life.
Okay.
he gains life.
Yeah.
Usual, it deals damage equal to its power. Sure.
Yeah, it's not the,
Yeah.
sometimes you have the spell dealing the damage,
Right.
and in that instance, it doesn't work.
11.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So a little bit of a slowdown there for Seth. He does get the Elm off the battlefield and gets to slam for 5 here. So a nice turn for him, but boy, another land off the top of the library next turn would be amazing.
Yeah, and also just Seth is at 28. It's not like Daniel has a whole lot of pressure.
Right.
Seth has a lot of time to just get this loop going, and it's so hard to stop. right? You
I'm
go
gonna
champions of
cast
the
this, I'll gain
perfect.
3 and exile your 2 non-mining cards.
You just go champions of the perfect here.
14.
On the
and-
grave shifter
On the grave
again?
shifter again,
Oh.
and if Daniel
And
finds
I'll,
another removal spell, you can just
pass
get
the
it
turn
back.
to you.
Is there,
Land
is there
here,
a land for Seth?
that would be really big. Not 100% necessary because you still have the ability to attack with both your creatures, use Blossoming Defense to kill the 3/3, and still play an Iron Shield Elf. Land just makes things a lot easier because then you can just run out the champion.
Does not find a land, so he's just going to attack with both. It feels like Daniel's not really in the
You're at
spot to be
14?
able to
No
just keep
walks.
taking hits. He's going to take it, though.
Daniel loves using his life as a resource.
He
From
does
what I've
not want to let Blossoming Defense ruin his day.
seen. Yeah.
I respect it.
And Guilt Leaf Embrace. That would also be quite strong here. So.
True. Okay, Iron Shield Elf is the follow-up, and while Seth isn't hitting those land drops, he's got a really good curve with his
4
deck,
cards.
Right?
and he's taking advantage of that right now.
Okay, and that's a Seer.
For a sec.
Great removal spell. Still not enough to kill the champions of the perfect.
Tapping that.
But to be able to keep that up would be really nice because if Seth makes another really aggressive attack representing the combat trick, you force Seth to use the combat trick, and then you can sear it in response. So Bone Club Berserker makes
play
a
this,
lot of
2/4,
sense here, right? Just because it's 4 toughness, so it does a really good job of blocking the elf. And Daniel playing defense here.
So a 4/4 and a 3/3.
And it's time.
And there it is, a land off the top for Seth.
It is time. Now, if you're Daniel, do you just sear the Grave Shifter just so you can't get it back and hope to top deck another way to kill champions of the perfect? Nope.
Good.
All right, well, now champions is online. Seth
Yeah.
is at 30 life with 2 creatures in hand. It's going to be a really, really tough spot here for Daniel.
Funny enough, he can't cast either of the creatures. So.
Right, yeah. But now he's in a spot where everything's a good draw, right?
Yes.
You draw a land, you play a 5/4, you draw a card. Otherwise, you're probably going to just draw a creature.
That's right. Lowest on his list are combat tricks, but he'll take basically anything at this point.
And Daniel thinking, okay, champions of the perfect is in play. Do I need to just start making some aggressive plays? And he actually top decks Scarblade's Malice, so anything that blocks the champions of the perfect, you could use the Scarblade Malice to trade, gain a little bit of life, and then make a 2/2.
Berserker for 6.
Yeah, that's a big attack.
6 power now.
Yep. I mean, given that you're at 30, you can probably afford to just take it once. Oh, Seth is like,
Blocking.
Seth is going, you know what? I'm just setting up for the late game here.
So this is Seth just saying, I will just
dies, trigger
continue
my
to
own
grave shift and just do this
Right.
loop.
If the
Okay.
game goes long, it's really hard for me to lose
keep
with
that on
this loop.
top.
I like it.
Yeah?
There is that fear, that it's going to get nabbed out of the yard, but Daniel had already tapped 3 lands to get the power higher on his creature, so he knows there's not another percher this turn at least.
Yeah, and given the fear of the second percher, Seth is just going to do the same thing here. Play Grave Shifter, get back to champion, and what do you do when you're on the other side? You're playing a Rakdos deck with a bunch of removal spells, but even then, it's just this loop is so hard to stop. One of the big cards that I can think of that Daniel could draw that could perhaps swing the game would be something like the Soul Immolation that he has in his deck. This card is an absolute beating. It's basically just a one-sided wrath. You 2-for-1 yourself, right? You just find your biggest creature, blight 3. All your opponents just, basically almost all your opponent's creatures are going to die, and they take the damage.
You have 4 cards? Okay.
I do wonder if Daniel needed or
I'll play
needs
Goliath
to
Daydreamer, cast 2.
kill the grave shifter.
Right.
Like, how is he going to get through this combo? Because right now it's going to be hidden once again.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to imagine that he could work his way through the champions of the perfect 3 times and still win the game. I mean, he had to 2-for-1 himself
3.
already once.
And now he's got the protection here, too. Ooh.
You have me at 10 life?
Yep.
Seth attacking here.
Okay, for 1 second. Sorry. Block.
And Seth would, I guess, use Blossoming Defense.
I'll do
But
no
you would
blocks.
you would also have to discard. Look, Daniel continuing to take damage here, knowing that basically his path to victory here is
This,
multiple
yep.
triggers off of this Goliath
Good.
Daydreamer.
Seth's at 27. Daniel's down to 7.
So is Daniel's hope here Seer to champion, attack Seer it again and hope it works?
Yeah, maybe so.
I'll cast
Yeah.
Seer on the 6/6.
And if you're Seth, you can just Blossoming Defense to basically
To
make it so
fizzle the
you
whole thing.
to fizzle it so you can't recast it again here off of the Goliath Daydreamer, or you just let it resolve and Blossoming Defense after Seer gets cast. But if you do,
Then you don't have a block, right?
I mean, you still wouldn't be able to block, right? Because it would have taken the 4 damage and it would be an 8/4.
I'll Blossoming Defense.
yeah,
yeah.
he's going to blossom in defense now.
Gets exiled with a Dream Counter.
Oh, it still does.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I thought it wouldn't,
On
but
that for a second.
fair enough.
6.
But if you attack, you still can't target the champion, right? But Daniel
Right.
does have Scarblade's Malice, which gives your creature death
How
touch.
many cards? 3 cards?
Okay, so
If Seth dares to
To
block,
block,
yeah.
yeah.
Seth's at 27. He's not really incentivized to do so.
Okay.
4.
This is still just such an uphill battle here for Daniel. I mean, he had a solid draw here, but now Seth gets to untap with Champions of the Perfect in play. Get that rooftop percher out there, possibly. Gain some life, put a flyer to get in the way.
Draw a card.
There you go. Okay, 5/4.
He gets to draw a card off the champion.
Yeah, that's nice just because now it makes it harder for the
combat.
Daydreamer to attack.
You're at
Seth, do I want to trade my 6/6 for your 4/4? There's also a bunch of mana up for Daniel. Ooh.
type.
That's a 3/1.
Yep.
So Seth is
For
attacking
1 second, so that's
with
7.
the
If I take
3/1.
that, then I can kind of lifelink. 3/1. Think 1 second. 3/1. 7/1. Okay, I'll block like that, and then before damage, I'll
Scarblade
give my
Malice.
guy Death Touch and lifelink.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Go to damage.
Let me discard to this.
Discard
So I
this.
gain 3 and I make it 2/2 elf when my guy dies.
Yep.
Yeah, and now you get an attack with the Daydreamer, right? You can attack with the Daydreamer, kill the 5/4, and
Yeah.
not risk losing your Daydreamer here.
But he still has that fundamental issue.
Right. Now, this is a good chunk of damage coming in. Can Daniel muster enough offense
Play,
here
Flaring Cinder,
where the
discard
inevitability of the
Mountain,
Champions of the
draw a
Perfect
card.
won't quite work out?
Then I'll
He's going to play a Flaring Cinder, get rid of a land.
I'm going to assume it's these, just thinking if I swing was that, that's a 2/2. My guy's a 3/2. You have 2 cards.
Yeah, because a Scarblade Scout can attack and gain some life back.
I'll just swing with all of these and then cast Seer for free on your 5/4.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, this is a 2/2.
Yeah. Just
So this is
No.
9 damage coming in.
it goes to my graveyard after I cast it off the Dream Counter. Just
Yeah, it just says you can cast it without paying its mana
So
cost for the
that's
second
for-
part.
9.
Yeah, I mean, the Daydreamer, when it goes off,
Because you didn't cast it from your hand.
good. Thank you.
Okay, I'll take it.
quite strong.
Second main phase, I'll play a Bogart and pass.
Oh, didn't see that one.
So I
Okay.
take 9.
I think he got that off of the...
And look at this. I mean,
Land.
Daniel's just somehow positioned himself where it's looking pretty good.
I'm kind of
Right?
surprised. I mean, Seth took himself down this path with that block of, you
Right.
know what, I'm just going to chew through your cards because I've got this recursion engine.
Right.
It is expensive.
Yeah, because think about it. If you
Just
played it
block
the other
the
way,
Starblade
just
Scout.
play it defensively because you know you have the inevitability. Maybe you don't attack. right? Maybe you don't attack and you just keep playing creatures. Then you Daniel can't even attack with the Goliath Daydreamer because you just have so many big creatures in play. So this might give Daniel a little bit of time because, look, if you take your turn off to play Graveshifter into Champions of the Perfect, I mean, Seth's down to 15 now, and Daniel's got 12, 13 power in play.
10 right now.
Yeah, Seth has a Guilt Leaf's Embrace, but if you
trigger, give -1 there, and it takes 3.
Yep.
yeah,
7. And you gain 2.
Yep. 17.
okay, Seth can only play one thing this turn, which is a bit awkward here.
Yep.
Make it 2/2.
Oh, you can make a 2/2,
ahead.
sure, and keeping up Dawn's Light Archer to ambush the Daydreamer, right?
That
it
would be
attacks,
nice.
blocks, and also can potentially block the Percher. But I imagine you're going to be looking to ambush the Goliath here. Now, if you're Daniel, you're like, wait, why would you just do that and keep up 3 mana? You have to be thinking you can be representing Guilt Leaf's Embrace.
Right.
So I like not attacking with the 4/4 here, and Daniel playing this game beautifully. It's like, what can you be representing at every turn of the game with the mana that you have? I know you have a Graveshifter in your hand.
Right.
You didn't play it. You clearly have something you want to do here.
Sure.
And there it is. He did leave the Goliath back, though. Really well played here by Daniel.
Second main phase. I'll just play out my hand. 6
Yeah.
mana. Pass
Okay. All right.
Somehow winning the tempo fight here is Daniel Goetschel.
Yeah, and that is what, a 4/4 Berserker at the moment? There's a Gristle Glutton and the Berserker itself. Oh, it doesn't, yeah.
Yep.
So, and it's
It
a
counts.
2/4.
It counts other, but it starts at 2/4. So yeah, 4/4. And then the Grizzle Glutton theoretically will keep the action flowing here for Goetschel.
Yeah. All right, so we're now on play a 5/4 and hope Daniel doesn't rip a good removal spell here.
Yeah, this is where Seth really just needs a turn off.
This guy.
Okay, so just
He's going to
things
play
like
the
that.
Bile
Attacking
Blogger.
for 6 maybe? Maybe just attack with both?
He can use it as a combat trick here in conjunction with
Right,
the Glutton.
yeah.
3 cards if I attack.
And you get to gain a ton of life back, right?
Right. Daniel's
And
a precarious
I'm going
7.
to-
With the Boggart,
Go do
you can blight onto the
attack
Boggart,
with
so that's an
both,
onboard
try and
-1/-1
cast this,
combat
target
trick as
this.
well.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
target.
You want to probably target the
Is
6/4
it
here.
like I said target this, and then he said okay.
It's okay,
So
you
two-
can- you
yeah,
can look
I'll give
Okay.
it on it. Sorry, let me think for 1 second. I guess we're low on time, so I need to do this really quickly. You're at 17 life. Yeah, I'll just do this now
There.
here.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll block here.
Then
Yeah, but the
I'll
combat
take-
trick doesn't
I'm
work
gonna
because
take
it's a
4,
5/4.
13,
So even if you put a -1/-1 counter on the 5/4, it would be a 4/3 and still be
then,
enough
yeah,
to
let me just
kill
make sure that all
the
resolves. Yeah,
Berserker.
that's 4 tough, 5 power.
Yes,
Yep.
he's trade.
So it just
Trade, yeah,
happens.
take,
So 4. So
But
4
again,
damage
this is
comes-
Seth,
13,
you know, he's really kind of investing for the long term here
Right.
still. He's been doing that since about 5 turns ago.
Right.
But the payoffs will start to come online.
Ooh. That is an assert perfection here. What can we get off the battlefield? Now remember,
Yeah.
there's still that onboard -1/-1. You
Combat,
really want to
sure.
kill the Daydreamer, but I don't think you have enough here. I wonder if Daniel's going, you know what, I'll just take this trade.
I'm at 11 life.
Yep.
And you have how many cards? Sorry,
4 cards.
4 cards. Think for 1 second. If I block, you play the trick.
This has been a long match. Daniel
Give it -1
aware
power.
of the clock here, mentioning
I'll
that
just do
as part of the
no buffs.
equation.
Yeah, you can tell he's a thorough player. He kind of talks through his plays, but he's still playing pretty briskly. But this has just
That's what I have,
been
yeah.
a very grindy pair of games that we've
Yeah,
had so
absolutely. Seth has all the tools in hand. Okay, and it's time.
Yep.
far. And he's going to make a 2/2 here as well.
The problem here is you can't use Assert Perfection to kill the Gristle Glutton.
Right.
Right, so you can only use it to basically kill the Flaring Cinder if you want.
And who cares? Oh,
Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, did he? No, he just played it that turn, right?
no.
No, it was the turn before. It was active.
Yeah.
Oh no, you can't rummage. No cards in here. No.
But the cost is tap blight one, right?
Right, but then you have to discard a card. Can you blight one without?
Thought so, but I
rummaging?
guess not.
Not a goblin aficionado here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lowest on my list,
but land here for Daniel, and now Seth is
I'll block.
on the brink here of coming back here with that Champions of the Perfect.
yeah, it's taken him a little while to get everything
Go to
underway,
damage,
but
Take 3. I'm gonna go up to game 4.
and he wants to gain
Yeah.
a bunch of life.
Gain a bunch of life here. Now Daniel really needs.
So it picks
know,
up
a
the
big
counter,
remove.
but it didn't take the damage
Yeah, I'm at
originally
6,
because of
18.
indestructible.
Right.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And then we're going to see that same loop again. And this feels like the turn that Seth kind of took this one back.
Right, absolutely. Because now, I mean, Daniel did draw a Tweeze.
Cast, you have 1 card in hand.
Tweeze is good. You get to
Cast
rummage
the
here.
Tweeze there, gets exiled, and then I'll discard.
Yep.
draw a
Yeah, now you can
card.
cast Tweeze again.
Then I'll go to combat, and I'm gonna swing with these and tweeze it again.
Yep.
So
Okay.
you take 7.
Yep. So
Then second main phase, play Elder Auntie, get a goblin, pass.
Oh, and it has blockers. Okay, I mean, that was a good turn. Seth is still at 11, though. And that is currently a 3-1 lifelinker on Seth's side.
Yep.
All right, just doing the thing.
Yep. I mean, we've
Yeah.
seen this now. He has enough mana to do it in
How
one
many times has
turn.
that? It hasn't even drawn him cards, but he's just played.
It's drawn him one card.
Yeah,
But it could here.
right.
He's got a rooftop percher already. Found a forest.
Yeah,
play
and
this,
now
draw.
Yeah, you gain 3, 14.
I'll
Yeah,
just
this is
exile.
where it's starting to fall apart here for Daniel. He's still in this, but
it's a much tougher spot.
this
now.
is like the
I'll play
5th
this.
time
I'll
we've seen
play
the
here,
Champions
making
of
it
Perfect
better.
hit the battlefield,
And
something
then
like
I will
that.
pass turn.
Yeah, and I mean, unless Daniel can find soul immolation.
6
No.
in the air, you
Yeah.
said? Okay, I'll 6.
I mean,
Oh.
Seth just spent like 17 mana over those last 2
Right.
turns. Like, that's going to be really tough to beat. And in fact, too difficult for Daniel to overcome as Seth picks up game number 2. That brings us to game number 3. The players were mentioning the clock there in the middle part of game 2. I would assume that it's a factor here.
Same.
Both players on 7.
Great back and forth that game.
Super awesome game.
Yeah.
And it really was set forth when Seth made that initial block with his champion and said, okay, we're going to play this style of game.
Yeah.
It took a long time and it looked a little sketchy, but he did
He
ultimately
finally
end up
got
win
there.
because of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is just too much to grind through a 6-6 turn after turn.
Absolutely.
I think it actually came down 5 times. Like,
Right.
Play the 2-3. reveal
That's
the
just
champion,
wild.
Pass.
Oh, great start here for Seth with the Dignitary. Gristle Glutton on the other side. Might want to kill this Dignitary if possible. I did see a Cinder Strike.
So only can elf in graveyard to mix mana?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, needs an elf there.
I'll swing for 1. Sure. And second main phase,
Seth
play
is
That
going to
way-
take that one.
That way he could just Cinder Strike without having to blight anything away. That's cool.
Now, question is if Seth can just turn on to Dignitary this turn with some kind of self-mill effect. I did see Champions of the Perfect, by the way, in Seth
Okay.
Manfield's hand.
Yeah, because that was the other thing that happened that game. Remember, Seth was a little bit light on mana, and Daniel took out the Dignitary, and it became kind of a tempo game from that point on. It just took another 9 turns or whatever for Seth to win. Interesting.
Yeah, Tweeze. A nice draw here to get that Dignitary off the battlefield. And by the way, Seth doesn't have another elf here. So you can't even play out the Champions of the Perfect next turn because there's nothing
Yes.
to foretell.
I'll swing for 1. Bring it to 18.
Yep.
Or Behold,
And,
rather.
you have 4 or 5 cards, sorry?
5
I mean, I
cards.
guess he could just do the Dignitary.
I'll
right?
just...
No, if he kills the Dignitary.
If it's dead.
deal some
Yeah,
damage
if he
to your
kills the
elf.
Dignitary here, which I imagine you're going to with the Tweeze.
Yeah, Tweeze. Also, keep all my cards, thank you.
That's also tough.
Good.
Yeah,
Oh, and look at this. Yeah, Champions of the Perfect, but can't cast it. Actually
Wow.
can't play anything out of the hand this turn.
What?
Got 4 spells, but they're all situational. Yeah.
They require a creature. They require an elf. They cost too much. That's just wild.
Daniel did not attack
I'll exile
with the
this.
Bilval Boggart.
I'll rummage on
Wow, that's some
self,
respect
so I'll discard this.
to the glutton.
Counter, draw that, so it gets exiled.
Good.
Swing for 1.
Yep.
Does Daniel have another
Then
creature
I'll,
here?
Play an Elder Auntie, make a 1/1 Goblin pass.
Okay, that is a decent board. Now Seth needs an elf here for Champions.
Really, an elf would go so
and
far.
nothing. Look at this. nothing.
He
that
still
Seth
can't
can
cast
play.
anything?
No, that's a combat trick and a bite spell and the best card in his deck in his hand.
Go. Can Daniel close out, though? He has not been able to add very much power to the board.
Oh, a Shadow Urchin off the top here
I'll just
for
swing
Daniel.
for, 3.
Four,
Yep.
excuse me,
And the
just
second main
3
phase,
damage
I'll play
coming in.
this, And you're up 14, I think?
Yep.
You pass 2.
Okay.
He plays Shadow Urchin and
Oh,
passes.
X4.
This is untapped.
Yeah. So Daniel playing around Dawn's Light Archer there by not attacking with the 1/1
Pass
token.
turn.
Right.
Going, there's no way you have nothing you can do, right? You have to have
Yes.
something.
Yes. That is a safe thought
I'm
from
gonna go to-
Daniel.
go to
It's
combat?
not correct here.
Okay, so I'm going to
It,
attack
it
with
is, in
these, and
fact,
just attack
4
with light,
spells
and
in
light on the
hand.
problem. So I have those on my deck.
And none of them castable, and another
damage.
land for Seth.
And another bite spell. This might just
This
be
is
too little too
unreal.
late here. Now, Seth, if he does find an elf,
Yeah.
can
Go
still
to
go
second main
champions
phase.
plus assert perfection, right?
Yes.
That does
I'm gonna
kind of
play the
get you
land,
back
I'm gonna
into
cast
this.
Sour Bread onto you.
Oh, but now with the
I'm gonna
sour bread
think for a
onto,
second
this
with
is
the white
just...
trigger on the stack. Whenever, let me just read this card really quick. Exile any cards until your next end step. Can I just ask a quick judge question?
See, we were all wondering this too.
Yeah, this
the
one
next
goes
end
until
step,
your
does that mean
next
for my
end
next
step,
turn, or
not
does-
your
can I
next
only,
turn, this turn.
Can I only cast cards I exile this until the end of this turn?
Yeah, that is
Your
correct,
next end step
Daniel.
will be the end of your turn now.
Yes.
Okay.
So it will be until this turn.
Yeah,
Thank
red
you for the
cards are
clarification.
kind
I'll
of
just blight
finicky
you
in
onto
that
a spell.
sense.
Yeah, most of them give you
Make two
a full
goblins,
turn
and then
cycle.
For example, a card like the Kolrath Zealot, you have a
Right.
full turn, additional turn cycle to cast your spell, not with the Shadow Urchin.
No. Shadow Urchin is built to get you these cards when you attack with it during combat, and then you second main phase get them back. That's kind of the idea.
Okay, so
Double
Seth,
feed the flame Cinder Strike. Good luck keeping a creature
yeah,
on the
I mean,
battlefield.
Seth is at least going to be able to go champions here and kill the Urchin, but the champions will die, and you will still take 7 damage, go down to 1. At that point, can Seth even come back?
I don't think so. I mean, he's got a few lifelinkers, like a lifelinker plus assert perfection is like a way to.
I think this is lethal. Let me check. Yeah, I'll Cinder Flame.
Oh, is it lethal right
3, 4,
now?
5. That's 7, right?
That.
Isn't it 8?
Bring me to 1 here, but I
Oh,
don't
yeah, it's
think
not
I can,
sure.
I don't think I can do anything. So.
Yeah.
He says, I don't think I can do anything. He's going to fall down to
Yeah.
1.
4, 7, so it brings you to 1.
Rooftop Percher
Plus 2.
into assert perfection. Can that do it? Gain you 3 life?
Something like that.
Go to 4?
And he doesn't have it. Daniel Goetschel picks up the win 2 games to 1 over Seth Manfield to start his Pro Tour off right. Knocks off the world champ. Very well played by Daniel. Fun to watch that match. Lots of onboard stuff, lots of grinding, lots of decision making around what your opponent may have in hand, even if you don't know what they've got.
Yeah, I mean, just some truly high level magic from both sides. You know, it's kind of like a chess match. It's like, okay, I think you have this. Okay, I know you have this because of how you kind of kept up your mana, and both sides playing that beautifully. But Daniel just able to kind of push through right at the end. I mean, even that game 2, that was an epic game 2.
Epic game.
Right? Both sides taking damage when, you know, you could maybe perhaps make the obvious block. We can see both cards, both sides of the battlefield, but of course they can't. So, I mean, truly well-deserved win against the world champion.
That's right. Really great stuff from the feature match area, and we've got so much more to bring you today. We've got the rest of our draft rounds before we transition over to standard in a little while. We are going to take a short break here from Richmond. We'll be back with more right after this.